Hi everybody, welcome to this Expert Division qualifying round video with tournament wins for the Napa Valley Tournament here on the channel. New hole locations for the Vineyard Acres. Please give me a thumb up if you don't mind and make sure you are a subscriber. It is totally free and it helps me get to 20k. If you're not subscribed already, please click the button. Sadly, I only have time for qualifying round this week as it is the week that I turn 40. I'm going to be taking a few days off to celebrate, but we have some drops here and some tweaks to help you get started with a brilliant qualifying round score. Let's get started with hole number 1. Nasty wind angle here, but still fine to get the eagle. We're going to set up with the quarterback level 9 and 10 at the top of plus 0 yards, blue ring touching the rough on the right. Then we switch to our APOC and thorn bag. We are going to go with 5 top spin and 3 bars side spin to the right. Adjustment here is going to be max distance 10% elevation. Max plus 10 P3. For me, that is going to be 6.6 rings. Once I've made my adjustment, I'm going to go full over power, but it's going to be a slow needle, and we're going with 0.8 ball curl to the right. Hitting perfect here, going to bounce very nicely on the fairway, and we're going to bounce over the rough and the sand safely onto the other side of the fairway, fairly close to the rough there. If you think you're a great right hitter, then go with less curl. Drive distance around 345. Second shot, we find the minimum distance line with our thorn and then add backspin. It may vary depending on your drive distance, but it's going to be around 3.5 backspin with the ball guide 1 green square through the hole. Be careful, there is the occasional dead spot, glitchy moment on this green, so make sure you check for those as well. I'm fine from where I was in this example though. From the minimum distance line, we are going to play min minus 10 because this is an uphill shot. Pulling over the bullseye, you will need to do the same as well. But very simple setup from the min line. Going to guarantee, or pretty much guarantee, with a well executed shot setup and a perfect ball, should well get a nice eagle even with a nasty wind angle on this par 4. Onto par 3 now. We're going to go max plus 10 P4. It's a weird spin set though. It's going to be 3.4 backspin and around 0.3 left spin. Like I said, very unusual spins, but the reason I'm doing that is because it's a no movement target. So I kind of simplified the aim. However, the compromise is the spin isn't as simple as the aim. So you can tweak it if you like, but it's a good point to work from. Max plus 10 P4 settings. Use sniper 10 numbers regardless of your club level. Otherwise, you will be misadjusting this one. Falling very nicely for a hole in 1. On this par 5, I want to avoid a glitch roll, so I'm not going to go full topspin. We're going to set up with a bullseye directly over the rough at plus 0 with APOC 5 and above, and that will be at the top of plus 6 with APOC level 4. We're going with 4 topspin and 3 bars side spin to the right, and then we're going to make our adjustment, which is going to be max plus 5. For me, that is 6.3 rings, and then I'm going to take my shot, full overpower, slow needle, and you can see I'm going with a ball and a half of curl. Look at the ball trail, it is touching the outer tip of the triangle on the right hand side. Nice slow needle, makes it easier to hit perfect. Find the middle of the fairway and rolling beautifully along the next fairway without the glitch roll, and we want to get around 370 to 375. We're going to play rings from min here with the Grizzly. I'm adding 3 right spin and just a couple of clicks of top spin, so 0.1, 0.2, call it what you will. Then we're pushing up rings from min to have the position that I aim at here, which is the inner green ring touching the rough, and then the ball guide is just going over the left edge of the cup. Now, in the example here, I pushed up 12 rings, and for the Grizzly level 9, that equates to 15% slider. We're going negative elevation, so minus 10 elevation, and the final part of the equation is you need to use power 1 settings, because if you leave power 3 in the app, you are going to miss. So make sure you change to power 1 numbers for the second shot. Rings from min charts available on a Facebook group and also on the Rings Bible. We've got a tutorial on that as well. On this par 3, we start with a basic ball and we're adding 5.2 5.2 backspin. Then we switch to either a Kingmaker or a Kingslayer. It's good to keep the wind below 8 miles per hour if you can. Bull guide to the pin, bottom of the yellow ring touching the fringe where the fringe meets the green, and then we adjust here max plus 5 power 1 settings. Max plus 5 power 1 settings. Might need a wind angle tweak or two here, especially playing with such an amount of backspin. You've got a very long and slightly high second bounce, so a tweak or two is advisable, but not essential of course, but it would increase your chances of a hole-in-one. Max plus 5 P1, perfect ball away, nicely centred here for this middle wind angle, and we're dropping it nicely there for the hole-in-one. If you're enjoying the free content here and want to help support the channel, then you can do so in one of 3 ways. You can click the thanks button directly underneath the video, you can use the PayPal link in the description down below, or you can become a channel member as well. All support of the channel is greatly appreciated. We're playing a narrow line on the drive here, so it is good to hit perfect. Yellow ring touching the rough on the right with the QB 9 plus at P3 max. Then we swap to our APOC and Cataclysm or Big Dog bag. 5.8 topspin, no side spin. We are having to push rings to adjust here. Never ideal, but those trees are in the way, so it is the best option in my opinion. And we're going max plus 0. Max plus 0. It will glitch when you go into the bunker, so make sure you are ready for that one. Pull 4 rings at a time, or 3 and 3 if you like. Full overpower with a slow needle, but like I say, perfect ball is needed here. This is a very narrow line. If you want to switch to a higher power ball, you can do so, because that will give you a slower needle. Great left would risk the rough on the second bounce, so as you could see, even though the first bounce would be safe. 360 is what we're aiming for. Second shot, primarily this is just get it to green. There is a chance of tweaking this though if you want to have a more aggressive look at the albatross. Going with 3 left spin, and the top spin will vary depending on your drive, but I'm just finding the point at max distance to have that second bounce 1 ring away from the edge of the rough, bull guide pointing towards the cup. Difficult to replicate the bull guide because different wood club levels have different amount of bull guide available. Same with the rings, so make sure you focus on that second bounce, and like I said, tweak the top spin a little bit if you need to. Max minus 5 here. Let's see how this one comes in. We're not pushing up because the wind angle and the top spin is going to do the work for us. Bouncing nicely here. Great left would risk the rough, great right would risk the sand. Put a bit of left curl on it, you could have an albatross. Par 4 here, we're going to go with the rock for ball guide and accuracy, and we're going to play with a Kingmaker. I'm going with 2.5 bars of top spin here. In the end, I remove the right spin, so we're just going top spin only, 2.5 bars. Blue ring touching the rough at P3 max with the rock level 8. That will be at top of plus 15 though with the rock level 9, so be advised of that one. Then we're going to adjust max plus 5 here, maximum distance 5% elevation. So making our adjustment there, then all we need to do is centre the ball very well and just hit a nice perfect ball. No overpower, no curl, just concentrate on hitting perfect and bounce on the fairway, roll up the slope further down the fairway. Our drive distance here is going to be in the region of 325 yards. Second shot, I want to find a sticky spot here. I'm going to add spin first. It might vary though depending on your drive. But in the end, I go with 4.5 backspin and around 2.5 right spin, and then I pull back to the minimum distance line. I then push up rings from min, and you can see there I'm moving my target around and finding a very small sticky spot. It is quite small, it's not a wide amount of space you've got there. But like I said, try and get yourself in that. The spins needed might vary, but use this as a guide and then you can tweak from it as needed. You can see the ball guide is pointing to miss right here. I would just tweak the side spin because I did miss this one to the side. So a small tweak needed on the spin here. 10 rings up from min. I'm going rings from min plus 5 elevation. If you push up 10 rings like me, then you play 27% slider. Like I said though, small tweak to the side spin, just missing on the right hand side there on this par 4. Going to go with a sniper here, and we're going to add spin first. It is going to be 5.2 backspin and then 4 clicks of side spin to the left, so it's around 0.2. We're having the blue ring touching the rough, and look at the second bounce. It's just on the border between the light and dark green square column, slightly short of the pin, and obviously to the left to compensate for the wind push, because we've got a pretty high second bounce using the backspin, and because we're bouncing on an upslope as well. Mid plus 0, power 3 is the adjustment. Sniper 10 numbers. This will need a tweak. I very luckily got this one in on a bit of a short hop on the green. The other attempts have been very close though. It's a pretty tough hole, this one. We're avoiding any glitchy parts on the green though. Like I said, have a look at it, tweak if you need to. Very cheekily dropping it there for the hole in one. On the drive here, we're going to go at plus 10 with APOC 5 and above. Red ring touching the rough with APOC 5 and 6. That will be P3 max with APOC 4, and you would have 20% of the red ring overlapping the rough. 5 top spin, 3 right spin. Adjustment here is max plus 10, power 3, settings, which for me is 6.1 rings, and then we're going to take our shot. Going with a little bit of curl here. We're going with 1 ball of curl to the right, just before the circle drops as our overpower reference, and then of course the final part, the all-important part of the equation. Hit perfect, bouncing in the tree shadow and hopping over to this part of the fairway here. Drive distance is going to be in the region of 390 yards. Second shot here, I'm going with the Guardian because I want backspin and I want to try and find a funnel. Max backspin, half a bar of side spin to the right, and I'm counting up rings from min. In the end, I push up 6 rings from min. Needs a small tweak here, but I'm very close. I'm giving you an idea of whereabouts that funnel is. Look at the second bounce, look at the third bounce in relation to the pin and the green squares. They will help you tweak this shot. 6 rings up from min. I'm going 15% on the slider here, but make sure you've got your rings from min charts handy, because obviously with different club levels it might vary slightly. If not, of course, you can estimate true club distance as best you can. Going with 20% elevation on the second shot here. Perfect ball away, bouncing very nicely, and we're coming in just a little bit to the left hand side, so a small tweak needed there will give you a decent chance for your eagle. NMT drive here, no move target with the quarterback and a kingmaker. Add spin, we are going with 3.2 top spin, and then we're going to adjust our rings. Max plus 10, power 3 with the quarterback 9 and 10. If you have the quarterback level 8, you will have 4 yards less, so after adjusting you would need to push up by 4 yards, but only if you've got QB 7 and 8. If not, with 9 and 10 you leave it where it is and you hit perfect, and you're going to drive nicely down the fairway and going to get to a drive distance of around 330 to 335 yards. Second shot, play with the big dog or the cataclysm. I deliberately only play with 6 top spin there just to make it more applicable to those of you who may not have more than 6 available, but we're adding spin, and from the P3 max rest position, aiming down the middle of the fairway up ahead. Maximum distance, 0 elevation. Here is the adjustment that I'm going to make, and then after I've done that, just to get myself a bit more distance and to put myself in range with the thorn, I push back up to max. Pushing up in a nice straight line, then I'm adding here just before circle break overpower, just to gain myself a bit more distance. If you've got more topspin available though, you wouldn't need the overpower. I would play with a bit more topspin instead. But you want to be rolling into the shadow of the trees here to set up our thorn shot. We are going to make a top white ring pin check. So have the top of the white ring touching the pin, and look at the plus yards displayed. You can see it's plus 5 here. We're going with 2.5 backspin and half a bar of side spin to the right, and then we're going to set up with the ball guide going to the front of the cup because there is tailwind. We don't want to come in too hot, So ball guide just to the front of the cup. It may even be a little click further back than that, actually. Might need to tweak the spin if you hit a great left or a great right, but still try and make that distance check. +5, we're going to play 75% slider, 0 elevation, pulling over the bullseye. It's 2% per yard difference. So if your top white ring was coming out at +3, you are nearer, so you will play with 71% slider instead, and so on. Perfect ball away, nicely centred in the adjustment ring, is going to be a very good chance for an eagle on this long par 5. Thank you for watching this video on the Napa Valley Tournament. Hope you found it useful. Please join us on Facebook as well. Search for the BK Golf Clash Facebook group. Free guides, shot sharing and discussion points there. Over 12,000 members to help you improve your gameplay as well. Good luck everybody. See you soon. Bye for now.